Hey guys, Miles here, and I wanted to make a quick little video about tracking spawns in l4d2 zonemod. If you don't know, zonemod is the competitive rule set for l4d2. In this mode, survivors only have access to tier 1 weapons, pills for healing, and there's a tank every map. Sites like l4d2 Center, Pug, and some custom servers like Haze use this cycle method when it comes to playing infected. If you are interested in playing ranked l4d2, which I highly recommend, this is a very important skill to have, and it's very easy to understand once you get it. The way the system works is that everything that dies gets put into a queue, and there are 2 special infected in the queue at all times, since there's only allowed to be 4 special infected alive at once, and there cannot be a duplicate infected. When an SI dies, it gets put into the back of the queue, and the first one takes its place when the respawn timer ends. So for example, let's say the charger goes in alone and dies. Since the smoker is next in the queue, the smoker will take its place when the respawn timer ends, and everything else gets pushed to the front of the queue in the order that they were originally in. Now let's say the smoker goes in, dies, and the hunter takes its place, so forth and so forth. This is really useful as it gives the infected team the ability to plan ahead and get certain SIs for certain situations. Now this might be hard to track mentally during a game, however there's an easy way to set up the hits. Keep in mind that the first 2 infected that die will be in the next hit, while the last 2 infected that die will not be into the next hit and will stay in the queue. So for example, let's say that Hunter and Jockey go in and they both die first. So the hunter will enter the queue and the jockey will enter the queue. Then the boomer and the spitter both die last. So the boomer will go into the queue and the spitter will go into the queue. Then it'll just disperse. So the charger will go, then the smoker will go, then the hunter will go, and then the jockey back in the queue. And since the hunter and jockey died first, they are in the next hit. And the spitter and boomer that died last will not be in the next hit. Knowing this, you're able to easily set up hits as well as guarantee certain infected for certain situations. For example, a very popular combo is charger and spitter. The charger will charge somebody and the spitter will spit on them, doing massive damage to one person. If you want to keep this hit and continuously use it over and over throughout the map, you want to make sure that it dies first, so it stays in the queue. So charger and spitter will go in, they will both die, they will enter the queue, and then you send in the rest of the hit to die, and the boomer, the hunter, the charger, and the spitter will be in the next hit. Another very important one to know is the quad cap, is when you have 4 special infected that can cap. If you want this to happen, you want to make sure that the boomer and the spitter die last. So if you want a quad cap, you make sure your 2 cap infected go, which in this case is hunter and charger. And then you send in the boomer and the spitter to die after them. If you do this right, you will get your quad cap. Sometimes, if you want a quad cap, what some people do is straight up sack the boomer and spitter. So they'll just send it in to die really fast. So they'll die, they'll get put into the queue, and then your 2 cap infected that are in the queue will join their brethren, basically. And then boom, you got your quad cap ready. They'll just save this. They just sacked boomer and spitter, and that's that. Let's say that maybe you just have a spitter, so it's like, all right, we're sacking spitter. Spitter died, gets put in the queue, but oh my gosh, we have boomer. I guess we gotta sack boomer again, and then eventually your charger, and then bam, you got your quad cap. Knowing this system is not only helpful for the infected team, but for the survivors as well. If you're able to track what the infected team has ready to come to attack you with, then you know how to play accordingly. For example, let's say a hit goes in, and we're not really sure what died first, but we know for a fact that, let's say that spitter and hunter died last in the hit. We don't know how exactly, but we know spitter and hunter died for the hit. Because of that, we know that they don't have a spitter and they don't have a hunter. So we know that they have a boomer, a smoker, and a jockey. Because of that, we don't have to be worried about charge spit, but we do have to be worried about boomer. So, play corners accordingly, make sure to look at the boomer spots, and we know there's no hunter. So we don't have to be looking at the rooftops aiming for hunters because we know they just simply do not have it. So remember, the easy way as human is just to track what dies last. Obviously, it's easier said than done, and when you're shooting everything that moves and people are separated, it's not always easy. And if nobody's talking, it's harder to tell, but it's always good to know what they have if you're able to, and make sure to comment to your team so your teammates know as well. You can say, I killed Smoker last, and then we're like, okay, Smoker and Jockey died last, so we know they don't have that for the hit, so they can't pull us off a ledge, but they do have Hunt, Spit, and Boom, and Charge, so we have to be careful and play accordingly to that. Now remember, when I talk about this is only applicable to zone mod, which is like custom, the competitive sites. When it comes to normal games, like Valve server games, it's completely RNG and it doesn't matter the way they die. However, there are some things to kind of keep track for normal games. For example, it's impossible to have a quad cap, like how we talked earlier. It's impossible for this to happen. So let's say the jockey goes in and dies, the spitter will take its place, and then the spitter goes in and dies, and then the boomer will take its place, and then the boomer goes in and dies, the spitter will take its place again, the spitter dies, the boomer will go, and then this will die, and then the spitter might go there, and then yeah, it's a mess. Official servers are completely RNG, I believe, but they cannot have quad cap, and that's like really the only truth to official servers. So yeah, that's why zone mod better. No bias here. Anyway, I really hope this guide helped you a little bit. Maybe got you more interested in playing. Maybe gave you some more insight on the game. Maybe it makes sense if you ever played ranked and they're like, kill these last, kill these first, and you're like, why does it matter? Well, that's the reason. And hopefully this will help you out in your next ranked game. And yeah, just remember, don't be afraid to mess up, and improving isn't about winning. Improving is about learning from your mistakes. So yeah, have a great day. Bye bye. When it comes to normal official server, normal open queue, what am I saying? What am I trying to say? If you want to keep Hunter and Spitter and continuously use this Charger and Spitter. If you want to keep Charger and Spitter and keep using it throughout the hits, okay. Charger.